7 British versus American pronunciations you didn't know about. I find it interesting because we obviously say words differently and you guys point out what I say differently all the time. So it's time to get into this and see what we got. Before we do, appreciate if you guys can hit that subscribe button. Let's check this out.
I wanted to find out which pronunciation was more common in the US, and the results were as follows.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to words, specifically the ways in which we say those words.
Right.
Back in my previous life, when I used to live in Britain, I thought I had a pretty robust knowledge about how Americans said words differently to British people.
Okay.
After all, I think we're all aware that one country says tomato, the other says tomato, one country says potato, the other says, we both say potato. And there are just some pronunciation differences that through the medium of television, film, and YouTube that we instinctively know about more than others. I'm not here to talk
I don't know why. It just made me laugh when this guy just like nodded his head.
about more than others. I'm not here to talk about those today because I've done that to death. Today, we're going to talk about ones that nobody talks about.
Okay.
Except me today in this video, obviously.
The interesting
now,
ones.
If you are subscribed to this channel, you'll have seen that last week I did a similar video in which I looked at 7 spelling differences that nobody talks about. That's 6. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, do
His
that
link
now.
will be in the description. Right, what we got?
Stop what you're doing, unless it's watching this video, and say the following 7 words with me like your life depends on it.
Okay. Cicada.
Sometimes in life, fate takes you back to a place that
Cicada.
you've been to before. And that place, in this case, is cicadas.
Oh, cicadas.
I just realised it's not a place, but an insect. You may have seen over the summer that I did a video.
Oh, this is bad because I actually watched that video. Wait, am I butchering the word again?
Documenting an infestation of cicadas here in the Midwest.
Right.
There's something that I didn't mention at the time about
them.
the alternate pronunciation of cicada, and that's because I didn't know there was an alternate pronunciation of cicada. It was only while researching this video that I realised that, in fact, in Britain, where this insect is in fact very rare, the word is often pronounced, and this somehow feels wrong to somebody who only learned the word when living in America, cicada.
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 And I suppose nobody should be too surprised about this. I mean, there is precedent here. That is, there are many words in which an R pronunciation in British English becomes a long A in American English.
Cicada.
After all, to quote the song again, tomato versus tomato.
Tomato,
and I've
tomato.
just realised they could have substituted potato for cicada, which wouldn't rhyme, so never mind. But you've also got charade versus charade, gala versus...
Oh, wait, yeah, I say sure. Oh, yeah. Well, of course, I'm British. Gala, gala.
Gala versus gala. But cicadas, it turns out, are part of a very niche group of animals that like to climb trees that Brits and Americans can't agree on the pronunciation of. Which brings us on to these little
Sloths. Wait, how do we say sloths
a mammal
different?
that you find in neither Britain nor America, but in fact Central and South America. They're furry, they like to dwell in trees, and have a black mask over their eyes. And I realise that sounds like I could be describing raccoons, an animal that I'm very familiar with, thank you. But I'm not. I'm describing sloths. And there, I purposely...
Wait, this might be dumb, but I actually didn't know America had sloths, bro.
Use the pronunciation that Americans use because most of my viewers are American, and I wanted to build up some suspense as to how I say it, which is sloth. I don't usually say it like I've just sat on a pin. What?
Yo. You might be the only person I've ever heard call it sloth. What is a sloth? Bro, it's just sloth. Everyone calls it sloth, no? What's a sloth?
When I brought this up to my wife the other day, she said, why do you say it sloth when it's written like cloth or moth or
sloth.
froth? I'm paraphrasing. To which I said, how do you pronounce both? And she had no comeback, and she's not here to defend herself. And while sloths are known for their ability to...
Wait, has he just changed his t-shirt? He did. Oh, he's always tripping me out, man.
...herself. And while sloths are known for their ability to camouflage, I once...
How did he grow his beard? Nah. I think it's just a different day. It's just different...
defend herself.
Estrogen.
If I've learned anything about the difference between British and American words, is that there's a special category of words in which both the spelling and pronunciation are different. Take, for example, estrogen, which is how Americans say it and spell it. For those of you wondering, in British English, this is very rationally spelled with an O at the beginning. You may remember in the spelling video, we briefly talked about diarrhea because you've seen this channel.
Estrogen. I've never heard of that word. Bro, am I just American? Bro, what's going on?
Before, which also includes the OE grapheme, a Latin influence that is seen in both countries in the word phoenix. means that we pronounce it as E, so phoenix.
Right, it's not phonix.
So the hormone, which is found in every vertebrate, particularly prominent in the female of a species, is pronounced in British English estrogen.
Estrogen. Estrogen.
Anyway, since I am dropping words which might show up in conversations about procreation, that brings us on to this.
Okay, midwifery. Midwifery.
Anybody who's seen Call the Midwife will know that we in Britain take midwifery very seriously. Just not quite serious enough to call it midwifery. Because if you have seen Call the Midwife, you'll know that in Britain we say midwifery.
Midwifery.
Okay. I honestly must not be British, bro. I must not be British. I have never heard anyone say, bro. What? Midwifery.
Midwifery.
Now, according to one or two of my patrons with whom I discussed this list on my secret live stream, the midwifery pronunciation does also crop up in American English. And the reason that any of us do this dates back to Old English, when the word wife was spelled W-I-F. Once again, there are precedents for this, as in the British use of a short I becoming a long I in American English. Other examples include hibiscus versus hibiscus, privacy versus privacy, simultaneous versus simultaneous, trimester versus trimester, to stick to the theme of procreation, and vitamin versus vitamin. Meanwhile, there's one other vowel shift that often incurs the wrath of both Brits and Americans, one that can be found in a word that I used 3 seconds ago, and that word is this.
Wrath. Okay. Don't tell me anyone else in the UK say wrath. Don't say wrath.
That's right, the word wrath, which, for the sake of clarity, I am pronouncing the way most Americans pronounce it.
Oh, come on.
Say, talking about the grapes of wrath.
What do we say in the UK
the wrath of Khan. I'm also saying it the way that I've sort of always said it, but not everybody in Britain pronounces it the way that I do.
How?
In Britain, the A is pronounced O, as in wrath.
Wrath.
Okay, I'm done. Is this video a joke? Is I'm so confused. I am so confused, bro. Wrath. No one says, oh, that's a wrath. That's a wrath. What?
Wrath.
And look, there might be some Americans watching this thinking, we're not going to pronounce the letter A like it's an O, until you stop for a moment and think about another word that I used in that sentence,
I'm baffled.
which was watching. We do it all the time. That said, there are other examples where this occurs in British English, but not American English. One of my favourites of these, just to tie it back to mollusks that we discussed last week, is the word scallop, or as it's pronounced in the US, scallop. Anyway, phonetics associated with the letter O have some other tricks.
Yo, this video is making me really feel like if people in the UK generally do say it this way, I'm starting to feel like I'm just American now. But I've always said those words like that. Bro, I'm tripping, man.
Their sleeve.
Catacomb. Okay? Tell me that's not the British way. I'm losing it, dude. Catacomb.
Somewhere out there on the internet is this meme in which somebody says, when I was a child, I thought that quicksand would be a much bigger problem when I grew up. And similarly, I thought I'd spend way more times in catacombs. Mind you, I also thought I'd spend my life wearing a fedora and carrying a leather whip. But keen-eared Americans may have heard my pronunciation there and thought, ooh, catacomb? But surely you just pronounce it the same way you do comb. You think
catacomb. Okay. So I do say that the British way, catacomb.
That'd be the case, but then again, my way is in line with how we say tomb and womb, and also with its original Latin spelling that didn't include the letter O. Now again, this is one of those words where I've heard both pronunciations in Britain, but the same cannot be said of this.
Apricot. No one else in the UK says that otherwise. It's apricot in the UK.
That's right, we've come full circle, which is both a play on the fact that apricots are circular and the very vowel contrast that we saw in the first entry with cicada, Because while many Americans do share my pronunciation of apricot, I was completely and utterly a little bit stunned the first time I heard an American say apricot. I assumed that this person had only ever seen the word written down and was just guessing until I heard it again and again and again, prompting me to look it up, and indeed is very much an accepted pronunciation on this side of the pond.
Apricot. Apricot. Apricot.
In fact, through a perfectly scientific prompting me to...
Apricot. Apricot.
Apricot, yeah.
In fact, through a perfectly scientific poll that I did on YouTube, I wanted to find out which pronunciation was more common in the US. And the results were as follows. Now, keep in mind that this poll was only taken by Americans, and I know this because that's who it was addressed to, and anonymous humans on the internet would never lie about such things. Also, 83% of my followers are American, and...
Yo, from my experience, especially streaming, when I do a poll, you guys just vote the opposite, bro. You guys just troll.
After 30,000 votes, Americans and possibly a handful of Brits have spoken. Almost 2/3 of respondents say they pronounce it apricot, and just 1/3 say apricot.
Okay. Yo, final thoughts, bro. I'm actually baffled to the British way, especially the first part of this video, man. Because I was saying the American way, and I've never even heard of the British way. So what's going on?
So those were just some of the more obscure pronunciation differences between our two countries.
But yo, let me know very good video. Enjoyed that. Had fun with that one. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you thumbs up, subscribe for more content. I'm live every single day on twitch.tv/L3WG. If you guys want to check me out over there, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.